so I'm glad you could join me today. Check into your body. Do you have your flat feet, your flat bottom, calm, safe body, quiet mouth, eyes on the action? Great work. Looking at the schedule real quick, we have our greetings, our calendar, our weather, our math, and then our story. Let's get started with that hello song. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. We're glad you came today. Look at the mood meter. Where are you? Are you in the low energy or high energy? Uncomfortable or comfortable space? That comfortable high energy yellow zone where you're feeling happy, silly, or surprised. That low energy but comfortable green zone where you're feeling calm and relaxed. Or are you in that high energy, uncomfortable red zone where you're feeling frustrated, nervous, angry? One of those. Or are you in the low energy but uncomfortable blue zone where you're feeling sick, sad, or just tired? Check in, tell someone around you. We'll wait. I am up here in the yellow zone. I am feeling very excited about our story today because it reminds me of a friend of mine from way back in 6th grade. But I'll tell you that when we get to story. Our greeting is all done. We're going to move on to our calendar. So we know we're in the month of July. We also know yesterday was Wednesday, so today is Thursday. And it is the 2nd of July. So we'll put up that arrow. On the 2nd, and then we'll write it in our notes. Thursday. Thursday. July, July. And the number 2, comma, 2020. Great work, everyone. So, our calendar is all done. We're going to move on to our weather. So you're going to look out your window to see what you can see. Here in North Bend, Washington, it has not changed from yesterday. It is 2 things, so I'm not going to use the arrow. I'm going to use the marker. It is windy and rainy, both. And it feels very cool because it is 61 degrees. So I'm going to write that on our notes real quick. Windy. W-I-N-D-Y and A-N-D. Cool. Rainy. R-A-I-N-Y. And since I wanted to say cool so quick, I'll say C-O-O-L and 61 degrees. Great work, everyone. Our weather is all done. Now we're moving on to math. And as you can see, the 10 pins are up for our math game. So let's get rolling that ball. How many did we get down? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I will write the number 8 right here. How many are standing? 1, 2. I'll write the number 2. Oop, that 2 didn't turn out so well. There. Let's say that math problem together. 10 minus 8 equals 2. Great work, everyone. Now we'll put them back up so we have up 2, 3, oop, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one. Great work, everyone. Putting up the pens again. We have 1 up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this last one makes 10. Rolling the ball again. Let's count how many we got down. 1, 2, 3. So we'll write that 3. How many are still standing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll write our 7 right here. Let's say that math problem together. 10 minus 3 equals 7. Great work. Putting up the pens again. We have up 7, 8, 9, 10. Rolling the ball for our last time. Let's count how many are down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I just knocked this one down, 8. So we'll write that up here. So how many are still standing? 1, 2. Writing that 2. Let's say that math problem together. 10 minus 8 equals 2. Great work, everyone. Let's look at our schedule. Our math game is all done. We're moving on to our story. So as I said, this story reminds me of a friend of mine. Here's lots of reasons why it could. But the reason it does is my friend and I used to hang out a lot together, and I used to sleep over at her aunt's house with her almost every weekend because that's what we did. And one weekend, it was very late at night, and her aunt said, "Let's go fishing." So we went fishing very late at night. But we didn't catch fish, we were catching something else. I think they were crawdads. She'd have to remind me. And we are still friends. So the name of our book is A Different Pond. Looks like they might be going fishing too. Dad woke me quietly so Mom can keep sleeping. It will be hours before the sun came up. In the kitchen, the bare bulb is burning. Dad had been up for a while making sandwiches and packing the car. "Can I help?" I asked. "Sure," my dad whispered and handed me the tackle box. The street lights looked bright, and the roads aren't so busy before the sun comes up. Dad turned on the heater and tells me stories. A kid at my school said my dad's English sounds like a thick, dirty river. But to me, his English sounded like gentle rain. We stopped at the bait store on Lake Street. It always seemed to be open. "You're here early today," the bait man said. "I got a second job," my dad explained. "I have to work this morning. On a Saturday? The bait man asks. My dad nods. I feel the bag of minnows move. They swim like silver arrows in my hand. It's still dark when we get to the pond. We park the car and climb over the divide between the road and the trees. My dad holds my hand and walks ahead through the tangled and shrubs. Step where I step, he said. I am thinking about what Dad told the bait man. If you got another job, why do you still have to fish for food? I asked. Everything in America costs a lot of money, he exclaimed. I feel delicious on his hand when he squeezes mine. Sometimes a Hunan man is at the pond. He speaks English like my dad and likes to tell funny jokes. Sometimes there's a black man there too. He shows me his colorful lure collection. This time it is just me and my dad. It is a little bit cool. I rub my hands together, yawn, and look up to see faint stars like freckles. Looks a little shiny, sorry. As Dad sets up in a clearing, I gather small, thin twigs for a fire. Then they need to be dry and clean. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 more for later. I put some rocks in a circle and set up the twigs like a volcano. Dad reminds me I set one end of each twig down, the other up, leaning them in so they rest against each other and hold each other up. I get it too light with just one match. Dad nods. You want to put a minnow on the hook? Dad asks. I want to help, but I shake my head no. I don't want to hurt the little fish. Even if I knew it's about to be eaten by a bigger one. My dad smiled. He isn't upset with me. Dad hands me a sandwich, cold bologna between 2 pieces of bread, careful of the spice stuff, he said. There's half a peppercorn, like a moon split in two, steadied into the meat. I used the fish by the pond like this one when I was a boy. I used to fish by the pond like this one when I was a boy in Vietnam, Dad said, biting into the sandwich. With your brother? I asked. He nods, then looks away. Dad tells me about the war, but only sometimes. He and his brother fought side by side. One day his brother didn't come home. The bobber dipped in the dark and Dad pulls got, got one, he said, almost shouting. A crapie, and soon another, and I helped. Can I help? I asked. He nods, and I use 2 hands to help guide the fish into the bucket. The fish feels slimy and rough. At the same time, Dad laughs at the funny face I make. He is making quite a funny face. Dad smiles, his teeth broken and white in the dark, because he has a few fish and he knows we will eat tonight. Time to go home. My dad must get ready for work. He washed his hands with a small nub of green and white soap. Then I do the same. I look at the trees as we walk back to the car. I wonder what the trees look like at the other pond in the country my dad comes from. By the time we got home, the sunlight came through the windows. Is just a faint tint blue and gray instead of gold. At home, Mom looks tired, but she smiles at the fish in the big white bucket. My dad changes his clothes and gets ready to go to work. He pats me on the back and says to Mom, "Our boy did a great job with the fire today." You learn so quickly, my mom said. Then she asked me to help with the fish before she has to go to work too. I'm sad that she and Dad must leave, but not too sad. I know that later on they will both come home. Look after your baby brother, Mom reminds my brothers and sisters. She means me. Then she gets on her bike and goes to work. I am not a baby. I think to myself, I helped catch dinner. Tonight, when we are all home, Dad will put rice in the cooker and Mom will fry the fish on both sides until they are crispy. I will bring out the jar of fish sauce that has flecks of chili peppers and carrot floating on top. At the table, my brother and sister will tell funny stories. Mom will ask about their homework. Dad will nod and smile and eat with his eyes half closed. Good fish, he will say to me. And I will smile and nod. And later, when we sleep, we will dream of fish in faraway ponds. And this is the person who wrote the story. And this is the person who drew the pictures. So as I said, the story reminds me of my friend because of that fish, that time we went to the pond together. But she's also from Vietnam. And when you come from different places to America, people do things a little different. And people here in America seem a little different, but that's okay. We just learn how to get along and be together. And honestly, when we were younger, it was just not that big of a deal, and it still isn't. We're still really good friends. let's work on our rainbow sentence real quick. I want to talk about the boy in the story. And I can describe a lot of things about him. I can describe his cultural. I can describe his clothing he's wearing. I can describe the fact that he was chilly. I can describe that he is the younger of the brothers. But I'm going to say that he was small because he was the smaller one. So I'm going to talk about his size. So I'm going to go up to make our rainbow sentence. So I'm going to write the word boy under my noun. B-O-Y. And I'm going to say small. S-M-A-L-L. And I'm going to write the word a small boy, fished. F-I-S-H-E-D. Because that's what they did. They went fishing. So he fished. And he was very, very careful when he was fishing. He didn't play in the water, or he didn't play with the fire. He was very good at building it. So I'm going to say he fished safely. S-A-F-E-L-Y, safely. And where was he fishing? Was he in the house? No, he was at the pond. So I'm going to say at the pond. Period. Now, I noticed they use minnows, little fish, to catch the big fish for dinner. And I remember that we used chicken to catch the crawdads when we went fishing that time. So things are different, even in stories and what happens in real life. So I hope you have a wonderful day.